The question often arises whether daily hygiene can influence human lifespan. Most people rarely consider this, yet medical professionals unanimously emphasize that some seemingly minor and often overlooked body parts can play a key role in maintaining robust health and achieving longevity. As we age, the immune system naturally weakens. Even a seemingly simple act like insufficient cleaning of certain areas can lead to infections, inflammation, and even serious ailments. It is crucial to understand which 4 body parts older adults should pay increased attention to when washing to preserve their well-being and significantly increase the likelihood of living a long, fulfilling life. Some of these areas may come as a surprise, but the reasons for their importance will become clear. Those who aim to fully enjoy their mature years are strongly advised not to ignore this vital information. The first such area is under the fingernails. While most people regularly and thoroughly wash their hands, the area directly beneath the nail plates often remains neglected. This seemingly minor but crucial space can accumulate dirt, various bacteria, and even dangerous pathogens if not cleaned systematically and properly. With age, maintaining impeccable nail cleanliness is no longer just an aesthetic concern. It becomes a critical element of protecting overall health. Throughout the day, human hands come into contact with countless objects, from door handles and banknotes to food and one's own face. Microorganisms and bacteria easily get trapped under the nails, and if not removed promptly, they can enter food, the mouth, or even open skin wounds. For older adults, whose immune systems are not as strong as before, this significantly increases the risk of infections, digestive problems, or even more serious diseases. One common yet often ignored risk is fungal infections, which find ideal conditions for proliferation in warm and moist environments. If nails are not regularly cleaned and trimmed, fungus can actively develop underneath, manifesting as yellowing, thickening, or even crumbling of the nail plates. This condition can start as a minor irritation but then escalate into a chronic problem requiring qualified medical intervention. A vivid example is Margaret, a 78-year-old woman who loved gardening. She always diligently washed her hands after working with soil but rarely paid attention to the dirt accumulated under her nails. Over time, she developed a mild skin infection that started on her fingertips and gradually spread. When she finally saw a doctor, it was discovered that bacteria trapped specifically under her nails caused her problem. A simple but consistent habit of cleaning her nails could have entirely prevented this discomfort. The most effective way to keep nails clean is to use a soft nail brush or even an old toothbrush with warm soapy water, gently cleaning the area under the tips. Regular nail trimming also plays an important role, helping to minimize the space where harmful bacteria can accumulate. If difficulties arise with access or cleaning due to arthritis or limited mobility, it is recommended to consider seeking assistance or using an electric nail brush specifically designed for the convenience of older adults. Caring for your nails may seem like a minor detail, but it performs a critically important function in preventing infections and protecting overall health. Just a few extra seconds of attention each day can make a huge difference in ensuring reliable protection for your hands and entire body from potentially dangerous bacteria. The second important area requiring close attention is the feet. These body parts, which carry a person throughout their life, paradoxically often turn out to be among the most neglected in terms of personal hygiene. This neglect poses a serious problem because with age, blood circulation naturally slows, skin thins, and the body's overall ability to effectively resist infections significantly weakens. Therefore, regular and thorough washing of the feet goes beyond simple cleanliness. It becomes a vital measure of protection against potentially serious health problems that can significantly limit a person's mobility and negatively affect their overall well-being. One of the most common and significant problems for older adults is fungal infections, which find a favorable environment for active development in warm and moist conditions. If feet are not washed daily and properly dried, an ideal environment is created for the rapid proliferation of both bacteria and fungal microorganisms. Do not forget about toenails. If they are not regularly cleaned and trimmed, they can become excessively thick, brittle, and even provoke the development of painful ingrown nails or infections that take a significant amount of time to heal. For individuals suffering from diabetes or circulation problems, foot hygiene becomes even more critical. A minor cut or an unnoticed infection can rapidly escalate into a much more serious problem, sometimes leading to complications requiring urgent medical attention. Precisely such a situation occurred with Henry, a 78-year-old man who never paid due attention to his feet. One day, he discovered a small ulcer on his toe, but due to reduced sensitivity, he did not realize the full severity of the situation. By the time he sought medical attention, The infection had already spread, and he had to undergo weeks of treatment. If he had washed and inspected his feet daily, he could have noticed the problem much earlier and prevented its development. So, how should one properly care for their feet? The procedure is simple. They must be thoroughly washed every day using soap and warm water, paying special attention to cleaning the spaces between the toes. After washing, the feet should be completely dried, especially carefully the areas between the toes, to prevent the proliferation of fungal microorganisms. If difficulties arise with reaching the feet, it is recommended to use a long-handled sponge or seek assistance if necessary. Caring for your feet is not just a matter of comfort, it is a key element in maintaining mobility, preventing infections, and preserving activity and independence for as long as possible. The third important area is behind the ears. Many may believe that simply washing the face is sufficient to keep the skin clean, but there is one spot most people often forget: the area directly behind the ears. While this might seem insignificant, neglecting this body part can over time lead to the accumulation of dirt, sweat, and bacteria, which in turn causes irritation, unpleasant odor, and even the development of infections. As we age, our skin undergoes changes. It becomes thinner, drier, and more prone to irritation. The folds behind the ears create an ideal environment for active bacterial growth, especially if a person wears glasses, hearing aids, or masks, which can trap moisture in this area. If an unpleasant odor has ever been noticed coming from behind the ears, it often signals an accumulation of sweat and natural skin oils mixing with dead skin cells. Another issue to be aware of is seborrheic dermatitis, a common skin condition causing flaking and redness, particularly behind the ears and along the hairline. It is often mistakenly identified as ordinary dryness, but if left untreated, it can lead to more severe irritation and significant discomfort. Mild forms of the condition can often be controlled by regularly washing the affected area with warm water and mild soap, but if persistent redness, itching, or flaking is observed, it may be worth consulting a doctor. An example of how this can become a problem is the case of Roger, a 74-year-old man who wore glasses daily. He never thought about cleaning behind his ears until one day he noticed persistent itching and a slight burning sensation. When he finally looked in the mirror, he saw that the skin was red and inflamed. It turned out to be an early stage of an infection caused by accumulated bacteria. A simple procedure of properly washing and drying this area could have entirely prevented such an incident. To properly clean the area behind the ears, make it a habit to gently wash it every time you shower, just as you would wash your face or neck. A soft washcloth or your fingertips with gentle soap is all that's needed, followed by thoroughly rinsing and carefully drying this area to prevent moisture accumulation. Small changes in your daily hygiene routine can have a significant impact on long-term health, and a simple measure like keeping the area behind your ears clean can help prevent unnecessary irritation and infections as you age. The fourth, but no less important, area is the hands. Throughout life, hands serve as our primary tools, but have you ever considered the immense number of germs they come into contact with daily? Door handles, shopping carts, banknotes, public transport railings. These everyday items are literally teeming with bacteria and viruses that are directly transferred to the skin. As we age, the human immune system fights infections less effectively than before, making frequent and proper hand washing one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to prevent various diseases. Many older adults mistakenly believe that a quick rinse under water is sufficient, yet doctors insist that at least 20 seconds of active washing with soap is required to adequately remove harmful bacteria. And here's what most people don't realize: washing only the palms is not enough. The backs of the hands, the spaces between the fingers, and the areas under the nails are among the most neglected zones, and it is precisely there that microbes find the most favorable conditions for proliferation. Think about how often you touch your face, rub your eyes, or adjust your glasses. Each time you perform these actions, you are potentially transferring harmful bacteria directly into your body. Infectious diseases such as the common cold, flu, and even more serious respiratory ailments can originate from such a seemingly minor habit as touching the face with unwashed hands. For older adults, such infections can rapidly escalate, posing a serious threat to health. As an example, consider Robert, a 72-year-old retiree who was convinced he was doing everything right. He ate well, stayed physically active, and got enough sleep. However, he continued to get sick frequently, catching colds much more often than in his younger years. His doctor pointed out that Robert was not washing his hands often enough, especially after visiting public places. As soon as Robert developed the habit of thoroughly washing his hands, he noticed a colossal difference. The number of colds decreased, he had more energy, and his overall health significantly improved. Now, the reader might ask, is it really necessary to wash hands so often? The truth is, yes, it absolutely is. It's a small but extremely important habit that can have a huge impact on a person's health and longevity. As thoroughly discussed today, maintaining the cleanliness of specific body parts is a critically important step toward preserving health and ensuring a long, fulfilling life. Each of the four-mentioned body parts, the areas under the nails, the feet, the zones behind the ears, and the hands, deserves regular and close attention, especially as we age. They are often overlooked, yet they play a significant role in a person's overall well-being. By regularly dedicating attention to thoroughly washing these areas, one not only helps prevent the development of infections and the occurrence of discomfort, but also provides their body with the best chances for optimal functioning. It is precisely these small yet consistent habits that can have a substantial impact on daily well-being. For older adults, maintaining daily hygiene is one of the most proactive and effective steps one can take to preserve health and continue living a full life. It may seem simple, but the impact of good hygiene can be profound, especially when it comes to preventing unnecessary medical problems. It's important to remember that it's never too late to adopt healthier habits. Regardless of whether you are just beginning to pay increased attention to these areas or have been practicing impeccable hygiene for many years, it is always worthwhile to reinforce these habits to stay as healthy and active as possible.